Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having Leo on the 12th house cusp in a natal chart. Now, the first thing I'll look at as far as the restrictions and limitations may go, this person may have maybe difficulty, maybe in taking pride, maybe in certain areas, or showing pride or showing, I guess maybe we can look at the self-assuredness and the confidence. Maybe there may be some difficulties maybe in showing this, at least outwardly, the extroverted or gregarious side, the showboating side, the side that likes to maybe talk about their achievements and accomplishments. Perhaps those are some things that may not be shown very readily. Perhaps the leadership prowess, though may be shown in private matters, may not be shown readily on the surface, because in most cases Virgo would be rising. So anyway, the next thing we'll look at is secret sorrows. And the secret sorrows may be matters connected maybe with a bruised or wounded ego, or matters associated with pride. And maybe in some cases, maybe arrogance can be connected, although this would be things that were not shown outwardly, because this is secret sorrows and things that took place in private. And it could be matters maybe connected with not being as outgoing as he or she would like to be, maybe in certain, or should be maybe in certain instances. It could be maybe things connected of a very dramatic nature, that might maybe this person is lamenting over privately. Those are some things maybe to consider as far as the secret sorrows go. Now, as far as the self-undoing, perhaps this might be connected with a reluctance to spend strong amounts of money, frugality. It can be connected maybe with lack of extroversion, or lack of maybe mentioning or talking about the positive maybe attributes that he or she has. Maybe this leads to something that might be negative, maybe not, maybe speaking up in certain situations, maybe not taking on maybe the leadership role in certain scenarios when maybe it could have, perhaps maybe should have been shown. It could also be connected, maybe there's things of maybe lack of just being able to enjoy oneself, and lack of having that amusement, and maybe to some degree, or the amusement part of this person's life may be diminished maybe in some way, and maybe this somehow leads to the self-undoing, such as becoming very despondent and saddened. Now, another thing to look at as far as the 12th house goes are hidden adversaries and enemies. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean this person will have Leo enemies as far as secret enemies, although in some cases Leo, it could be somebody that has a Leo sun, moon, or ascendant. Now, perhaps these secret enemies, they might be people connected with glamour, actors, actresses, maybe even lion tamers in some isolated cases. Could be people that are very flamboyant, very showy, the types that are the life of the party, the extroverts, people of that nature, people connected with pride, maybe people that are even maybe a little bit arrogant or supercilious. So the next thing I'll look at as far as the 12th house goes, now, it's associated with dreams and the unconscious. Now, maybe perhaps there's a subconscious or unconscious need maybe to have attain some position of prominence and power. Maybe there's dreams of being an actor or actress in entertainment, an entertainer. Could be even somebody working in as in maybe juggling, for example, or somebody in a circus, somebody maybe even a dream of a lion tamer in some remote cases. But the dreams may be maybe of being somebody of royalty, someone of renown, a famous somebody perhaps connected with fame and notoriety, of stature. The dream of being a very strong leader, a person that might have their dreams connected with being maybe at the top of whatever it is they may be doing. Also, the 12th house is associated with private and hidden matters and things in seclusion. Now, on the surface, since I stated before that Virgo, a reticent sign, would be rising in majority of cases, it could be that though in private matters, maybe this person, it can maybe show something connected with being maybe that dominant person, or a little bit more domineering, maybe very controlling in matters that are associated in their private life. They might show maybe some hidden willpower and fortitude and very strong courage in matters in seclusion and solitude. And these tendencies or characteristics they might not show readily outwardly. Perhaps they show in private. Maybe this person in private is a little bit more outgoing and extroverted as far as in the people in their close circle in their private life. Now, another thing too, if there's the 12th house is also associated with imprisonment, and if by chance, if this person, in the small chance that they are ever incarcerated, perhaps it could be something connected with trying to get attention or notoriety, perhaps acting such as distorting something. For example, somebody acting like they were assaulted and making it sound like they were hurt more than they actually were, trying to exaggerate the story a little bit. And try to get somebody locked up for doing maybe something that maybe in a sense was a lesser crime than it really was, by means of dramatizing the situation and exaggerating in order to get the other person in trouble. So, and I know in most cases this wouldn't be true, but I had somebody, if I remember correctly, in his solar chart. I didn't know his time of birth, but in his solar chart, I believe he had Leo on the cusp of the 12th house, and that he also had, I believe he had Mercury and Neptune in conjunction. I have to check on that, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct in that. And he had some kind of delusions of grandeur, and I'm thinking, well, maybe this might have had, maybe that played a role in, because the 12th house does rule, it's over hospitalization. But I believe like I said, those are very minuscule cases, of course, and you'd have to have a lot of factors with that 12th house ruler being afflicted and so on and so forth, probably, for this to happen, and have other things in the chart lean toward this. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for having Leo on the 12th house cusp in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having Virgo on the 12th house cusp in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.